Hello and welcome to everybody on Cloud Fitness. So in today's video of Python series, we are going to talk about sets in Python, and again I'm going to divide this particular this particular tutorial about sets into two parts, and today we are going to look into part 1. So as we move ahead, what are sets exactly, right? Now just like I have talked about list, I have talked about dictionaries, right? Similarly, sets are also nothing but they are also built-in data types in Python. So when I say built-in data types, just like you have dictionaries, just like you have lists, similarly you have sets as well. Now these are also called storage for collection of data. So they are also called as collection data sets. They are also called collection of data. When I say they, it means your sets, your dictionaries, your list, right? So they are nothing but collection of a data in a particular format. So they are nothing but built-in data types in Python. So we have already discussed two of them. Now this is the third one. Now when we talk about sets, what are the features of sets, right? They are unordered, right? So for example, if I create a set and I have element 1, 2 and 3, right? So the order, when you use the set, the order might not be maintained, right? The first element can become the third element, and the third element can become the second element, and so on. Now unchangeable. So once you define elements inside the sets, you cannot update it. So if I say the first element is Bhavna, you cannot change it to be, let's say, any other name. You cannot change that. In case of list, it was possible, right? In case of list, it was possible, but in case of sets, it's not possible. You cannot change the existing element. You can add elements to the set. You can delete elements from the sets. Now similarly, sets here do not allow duplicates. In case of list, duplicates are allowed, right? You can have two duplicate values in a list, but in a set, it's not allowed, right? Now in case of dictionary, your keys are supposed to be unique. You cannot have duplicate keys in dictionary, right? So these are the few characteristics of set that I have discussed. So now let's move on to our PyCharm editor, and you already know all these py files that we have created. Now let me create a new Python file, and this one will be called as set01, and hit enter. Now again shift alt and dot to increase the font. Now how do we create a set? To create a set, you just need to give a variable, right? So let's say set01 is my variable name. It can be any name. Now to create a set, what you can do, just like dictionary, you can open and close these curly brackets, and then you can put in your elements inside these quotes, or not necessarily quotes. So since these are string elements, so that's why I'm putting them in double quotes. Otherwise you can also put something like 1, something like 3. So this is nothing but this is a set, right? This becomes a set in the terms of Python. So if I say print set, right, and if I try to run it, so let me change this to current file and let me run it. So you can actually see that you have this set. So also you can see that the set is unordered. I talked about, see, in this set I have given A as the first position, right, B as the second position, but if you see over here, 1 and 3 has come first, right? So if let me rerun it, right, let me rerun it. So now you can see I'm rerunning it again and again, right? Just check. I'll just click on this run button again and again. You just need to check the output, right? Just check on the output console. So let me rerun it. So all the time you will see the order keeps on changing. So it does not maintain any order. Sets are unordered, right? Now again you have this variable. If you want to check the type of variable, you can simply go ahead and use type function, and you can say type of set01. It will tell you what is the type. Now you can see it says class set, right? So this variable belongs to nothing but class set. Now can you add duplicate elements to a set? Let's try that, right? So I'm let me put 3 again to it, right? Let me put A again to it. So if you see here, right, I have added elements over here, right? Now if I say print set01, right, let me paste it here. And in fact, what let me try to do is, let me comment this previous print statements just for the sake of, little cleaner output. So now you can see the moment I did print set 0 1, right, what happened over here, what happened in this print set 0 1, you can actually see that 1 came one time and it was one time in this set. 3 was 2 times, still I got 3 one time. A was coming 2 times, still I got A one time. Now I can run it again. Again you will see the order will get changed, but still you will not find any duplicates. So if you add any elements to the set, it makes sure that it does not carry duplicates. So I hope you understood this part, that it does not carry duplicates, right? So let's check what is the length of my set, right? So let me say print and in fact let me say len. So we can actually use length function. So till now we have used length function for everything, right? To check the length of a dictionary, to check the length of a list and everything, right? So now if you look at the length of this list 0 1, so you can actually see that even in the length process, right, since set does not take duplicate elements, so even when you use this length function, it is not going to count your duplicate values. It is only going to count your distinct values. So I hope you are very clear that why print function, or why basically length function gave you 5 as the output. So I hope this part is clear till here, right? Now another thing that I want to, or another feature of set that I wanted to explain you. Now for this, let me comment my previous code and let me just use this. So this is my set 0 1, right? I have these elements and it has duplicates as well, which it will anyway not take. So let me add true over here. Let me say TRUE, right? And then let me add 0 over here, and then let me add false over here, right? And then let me say that I want to print my set 0 1. So we already know that the duplicate values are not going to come in, right? But what will happen to this true? What will happen to this false? What will happen to this 0? What will happen to this 1? Because these are the Boolean values, right? So let me simply run. Now if you see, look at the output, right? So you have 0, you have 1, you have B, 3, C, A. So first of all, you have all the distinct values, but you do not have true and false. Why you do not have true and false? Just because when you have 1 and when you have true, these are considered to be the same values by a set. So when set is considering 1 and true as the same value, it will consider that 1 and true are duplicates. So it will only keep one value out of it. So this is nothing but this is how your set functions. So Boolean values are actually considered to be same. 1 and true is same, 0 and false is same. So this is another feature of set, right? Now let me comment these lines. Now in the dictionary, if you remember, we used dict, right? We used dict function, we used inbuilt constructor, dict constructor to create a dictionary, right? Now similarly, we can also use an inbuilt set constructors to build a set. So let's say set 0 2, right? If I want to create a set over here, what I can do is I can simply pass in the values that I want to be part of my set. So this is something that I can always do. So let me just type in few values over here. Let's say A, and I'll actually show you, and let me say B, and then again let me say C. Now let me say print set 0 2. So let's see what happens. So the moment I do that, you can actually see that it gets converted into a set, and it also has these curly brackets. Now similarly, remember that what you can do is you can also pass in a list over here, right? So instead of this, what you can do is you can also pass in your square brackets over here, right? And let me add in few more values. Let's say 1, let's say 6, let's say 9, let's say 5, let's say 4, right? So I've added just few more values over here, and then let me comment the previous part. And now if I run it again, you can see this list gets created, right, without any duplicate elements. And anyway, I have not passed duplicates as well, because you have already understood that sets does not take in duplicates, right? Now let's say, if you want to convert a string value to a set, can you do that, right? Can you have a string value, variable which is nothing but a string? So let's say string variable. Okay, let me just name it as string variable, and let me say my string variable is let's say cloud fitness. So this is my string variable, right? Can I do something so that it becomes a set? Yes, you can do that. How you can do that? Again, you can use the built-in set function. So let me say print set, and inside set I can pass in this string variable, right? And let me run it. So the moment I do that, you can actually see this cloud fitness. So each and every word, each and every alphabet from here and actually got converted into a set. And now also remember that cloud fitness has 2s, right? If you see 2s, instead of that you just have 1s because it does not consider duplicates, right? So remember that it will not take the duplicates all the time. So there is no case in which set can actually take a duplicate, right? Now similarly, just like I have told you about the set part, similarly if you remember in the list video, I have also told that you can convert a string to a list as well, right? So I'm just refreshing your concepts again here. So similarly, if you use this list over here, and if I run it, so you can actually see that it gets converted into list also. And remember that this list function, right, actually takes in duplicates, right, and it maintains the order. So if you see CLOUDFITNESS, so it has that. So I hope this part is very clear to all of you, right? So let me comment this and let us move to some other part of it. So in fact, let me take in this set, right, because we need set for our further process. So this is a set that we have, right? Now let me say I want to print each and every value from this set. Can I do that, right? Can I do that? You can do that using a for loop, right? So if you want to get each and every element from a set, can you do that? How can you do that? You can say for I in set 02, let's say print I. So you can always do that. Now remember, if you do not understand for loop, it's completely fine. We are going to cover loops in later on as well in our videos. So for loop is nothing. What happens is when you say for, what happens is for I in set 2. So what it will do, it will go to set 2 and it will iterate over each and every element which is present in set 2. Right, so every element which is present in set 2 gets iterated like this, and you can see the output over here. So this is nothing but for loop which you can always use, right? So let me even comment this for loop which we have already seen. How does it work actually? Now similarly, let's say if you want to check whether C is present in set 2 or not, right? If the element C is present in set 2 or not, how can you check that? So for that, again, it is very simple. So you can say C in set 02. So this will actually tell you whether your C is in set 2 or not, right? So this is always, this in operator is actually used to check the presence of an element inside your set. Now if I run this, right, I'm just printing. Now you can actually see C in set 2, it says true. Right, it gives you a boolean value. This in operator used for a set will actually tell you whether a particular element is present inside that particular set or not. So for example, if I say X, so it will, and I run it, so it will give me false because X is not present, right? So I hope this part is also very clear to all of you, and let me comment this and move to the other part. Now I told you, you cannot update a set, right? You cannot update a set. So even if I try to update a set, let me try to do it using update function. Let's say set 02 dot update, and in that okay, so basically let me cover this update later on. That will be better in fact. So let me try to okay, so I want to drive it in another way. First I'm going to tell you that how you can actually add elements to a set. You cannot update any existing element. You can add an element to a set. Now how you can do that? Let's do that first so that it is better in terms of understanding. So let me say set02 dot add. So this add function, what it does is it kinds of add elements, whatever you provide inside this add function. So let me say I give one element, let's say added element, right? So what it will do, it is going to add elements, add an element named as added element to set02, and now let me say print set02, and now simply let me run it. So now you can see that this added element, okay, got added into this particular set, right? Now similarly, now what can happen is you can always add an element to a set. You can always do that. Now similarly, let's say you want to add multiple elements to a set. How you can do that? Let's see that. Now let me simply comment this part and let me say set02 dot update, and inside the update, let me, in fact, even before that, so let's say I have a list of elements, right? So let's say I can simply say list 01 is equal to, let's say 5 6 7 8 9, right? Now what I can do is I can say set2 dot update list 01, and then I can simply say print my set02. So now you will actually see that the above set2 that you have, right, in that set2, the elements from your list will get updated, will get added, right? So 5 6 7 8 9, so 5 6 7 8 9 got added over here. So that is how you can actually add elements to a list, right? So if you have duplicates from the top, it is not going to consider those duplicates. It is only going to keep your unique values. So that we anyway know. So let me comment this and bring it down. So I hope you understood how you can use update and update on the list. Now similarly, it's not just that you can use a list, you can also use a set to update. So for example, let me say set let's say 03 is equal to, let me create a set over here, let's say T, right? And let's say let's say YOU. I'm just giving you an example. Now again, what you can do is you can simply say set02 dot update set03, right? And then again I can say print my set02, right? Now if I run it, what will happen is within your set2, right, within your set2, your set3 will get updated. So you have this T and U over here. So this is how you can actually update your set, but updating any element which is already there in the set, it's not possible. I cannot change A to T. I can add T. How I can add? I can add it using a list like this, or you can add it using a set, right? So in case you need to perform any kind of operation on a set to add an element that can be done to change an element. So basically what happens is you need to convert it into any other data type. You need to convert, let's say, set to a list and then update the element. So that kind of things goes on, which is something that we can talk about later in the later part of our videos. So thank you so much for being till here. I wanted to cover this in this part 01. So rest of the concepts related to set we are going to cover in the second part. Also remember that I'm covering almost all the functions that are used, that are used, so that it is very clear once we proceed through our upcoming videos. So I hope that you are also practicing it, because these are like all very important functions. So thank you so much for being till here, and do remember to like, share and subscribe my channel.